Ernsthaft?
Back home we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
Ich sehe schon, was das hier für ein Keller ist.
Closed with a metal bolt.
Ja.
Footprints. Size 9.5.
Das war ja einfach.
Old and hasn't been used for a long time. The left step's length is shorter than the right. It indicates that the walker was lame. A true artist never shows an unfinished piece.
Ich will's glaub gar nicht sehen. Jetzt verstehe ich, was hier gemalt wird.
Sherry, how about some company in that dreary chamber of yours?
Leave my loneliness unbroken, John. A handprint of the thing from another world. But it looks fresh, and its coal origin ruins the effect of the extra mundane. Sodden and mould-ridden. One presumes deliberately.
Das geht gar nicht. Das sieht ja aus wie Magie.
The parasites of creativity. Or just a reflection of the artist's recreational interests. Saturn devouring his sun. Oh, grim composition.
Unflinching in its ferocity, yet somehow beautiful.
Ugh, sheer vandalism. Only an ignorant person could do such a thing. A Malpalbut. Coal fingerprints. I think we're looking for a man with a coal moustache.
Wir können schon so ein Ding machen. Interessant. Okay. Ja, dann. Also. Lol. Vielleicht ist das ja auch ein Test von dem. Gehen wir davon aus, da ist jemand durch das Ding da gekommen. Tap, tap, ta, da, da. sollte sich da jemand reinlegen? Ich weiß es nicht. Jetzt weiß ich. Der kam runter, hat nur so kurz geguckt, der hat sich da drin versteckt. Der hat die verbrannt. Warum auch immer. Irgendein Hater. Ja. Und die Gemälde geklaut.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the hatch bolt. He accidentally pushed a shovel to the floor. Vogel heard the noise. At the sound of his approaching footsteps, the intruder hid inside the coffin. When Vogel entered the basement, he failed to notice anything strange and left without properly checking. The intruder waited until Vogel had left the caravanserai before burning the paintings in Wilde's room. But the vandalism was a cover for the theft.
Gedankenspiele. Hand- und Schuhabdrücke aus Kohlestaub. Die Hand- und Schuhabdrücke in der Untergalerie sind aus Kohlestaub. Der Eindringling ist Raucher und hinkt. In der Galerie entdeckte ich auf dem Boden einen Malpal, Zigarettenstummel und Schuhabdrücke einer hinkenden Person. Jo.
The pieces are not what I expected.
What do you think my collection is about?
Dozens of priceless works amassed simply for the sake of it and presented without care. It's not about the art, it's about excess, yes?
I don't know.
Well, that's absurd. Of course you know. It's your gallery.
There is no one answer, no singular truth, but many filtered through the subjective mind. That forgetting, embellishing, lying machine. Besides, what's wrong with a lie if it makes life more interesting?
What's wrong with a lie? It corrupts the ability of others to behave freely and rationally.
Men never act freely and rationally anyway. It matters not what is or isn't in the end. The only important thing is how you feel. And I simply want to feel and consume as much as I can. Don't you?
Feelings are simply one's animal ancestry trying to wrest back control of the brain. I try to avoid the distraction.
You try not to feel, even in a place like this? None of it moves you?
To be frank, I struggle to maintain even a whit of interest in art.
But Mr. Holmes, it is joy incarnate, mankind's greatest achievement.
Mankind's highest achievement above all others is objective and rational thought.
I see then why you dislike art, for it means whatever you want it to.
Or perhaps, Mr. Vogel, I was lying.
Aha.
Mr. Vogel, my investigation has revealed that the intrusion was not merely vandalism, but theft. The limping visitor left your place with a canvas.
That's very impressive.
This thief was familiar with the gallery and he was sporting a limp. Do any of your clients or artists come to mind?
My, your attention to detail is remarkable, Mr. Holmes. I should introduce you to Bosch's works. Alas, I'm afraid I cannot suggest a culprit.
The fire was a clever attempt to hide a stolen painting, even if it didn't fool me. I found the remnants of an empty frame in the pile of ashes. The canvas had been removed. Do you know which paintings in the Wilde room may have interested a thief? Were any particularly expensive?
Those pieces belong to a well-known artist named Boniface Mercurio. They're controversial, but not of a notably high value.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the latch and dislodged the shovel while doing so. That's the noise you heard yesterday. When you went downstairs to investigate, he hid in the coffin.
It seems I should have checked the space more thoroughly.
There's something more, is there not? I can see it in your eyes.
Indeed. There is another intriguing angle. I recently received an anonymous offer for one of Mercurio's works. The sum was more than fair, and indeed could have saved Mercurio from his artistic poverty. But he declined it.
Was it a performative whim? Some artists lionize pain and hardship as if their work would be worse after a meal and a hot bath.
I cannot tell. But not only did he refuse the deal, he insisted on displaying the painting in the public space. I was hoping to change his mind, but artists are a special breed of stubborn.
So where can I find Boniface Mercurio?
I know he lives somewhere in Old City, but couldn't be more specific. He's a prominent figure, so finding him shouldn't be a problem.
What was depicted in the piece?
A bound woman, wrapped in robes, being penetrated by a red devil that stared at us, the viewer. The beast had numerous tails growing from his back, and a large crowd gathered around the pair, silently watching the orgiastic scene.
Okay, well, given the nature of the other works on display, it's hard to see why that one stood out. What could possibly be its value?
The evaluation of art is very subjective, Mr. Holmes. After all, art is everything. A poem, a bruise, the beads of sweat on your beloved skin. Even a masterfully solved crime.
I'm not sure I see the connection.
Regardless, the painting was one of a series called The Sabbath Night in Cordona. The works depict sex, violence, and other controversial acts that life, for better or worse, contains.
Ah, I see.
I'm not sure that you do, but that can wait for another time.
Well, I believe I have enough to begin. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. Your gallery certainly has unexpected depths.
I'm delighted to have been able to please a friend. In return, I expect you to come back with good news. Or at least with a good story.
Ich habe mich festgestarrt. Möglicherweise gestohlenes Gemälde. Auf dem Gemälde ist laut Mr. Vogel eine mit Seilen gefesselte Frau zu sehen. Sie wird von einem roten Teufel penetriert, der den Betrachter anstarrt. Der Teufel und die Frau sind von einer Menschenmenge umgeben. Der Teufel ist rot und aus seinem Rücken wachsen mehrere Schwänze. Das Gemälde ist Teil eines Zyklus mit dem Titel Die Sabbatnacht auf Cordona. Boniface Mercurius Adresse. Mr. Vogel teilte mit, dass der Maler Boniface Mercurio irgendwo in der Altstadt lebt, aber er weiß nicht, wo genau. Zudem erwähnte er, dass Mr. Mercurio eine bekannte Persönlichkeit ist. Perfekt, dann fragen wir doch mal irgendwelche Leute. Die werden es mir dann sagen. Wie komme ich hier raus? Oder wie komme ich hier raus? Oh. Wie komme ich hier raus? Wie komme ich hier raus? Wie komme ich hier raus? Also, Altstadt, der ist bekannt. Dann fragen wir doch, hallo du.
Can I ask you a question?
Don't think I can trust you.
Irgendwo in der Altstadt und er ist bekannt. Ja, dann muss sich doch jemand fragen können. Schlägerei bei Gemäldeverkauf. In der vergangenen Woche ereignete sich ein neuerlicher Skandal in den sogenannten höheren Künstlerkreisen. Den Ausgangspunkt bildete eine Verkaufsveranstaltung für Gemälde unter dem Namen Tanz der Dekadenz. Der Leiter eines Verlaghauses, Daron, der Löwe Terweg, machte den gemütlichen Zusammenkunft ein jähes Ende, indem er einen Stuhl auf den als dekadent geltenden Maler Boniface Mercurio schleuderte. Wie Mr. Terweg später zu Protokoll gab, tat er dies, weil Mr. Mercurio seinen Namen entehrt habe. An dieser Stelle möchte ich die werte Leserschaft daran erinnern, dass Mr. Mercurio mit Mr. Terweg in einem Kaffeehaus gesehen worden war. Nach dem Stuhlwurf sprang der Orchesterdirigent Kurt Gallagher seinem Freund Mr. Mercurio zur Seite, indem er mit einem Gemälde auf Mr. Terweg einschlug. Daraufhin begann ein großes Handgemenge, in das auch zahlreiche Kunden verwickelt wurden. Nach einer erstaunlich langen Zeit der Schläge und Tritte traf die Polizei ein. Alle Haute-Volée-Schläger wurden verhaftet und für eine Woche in Gewahrsam genommen. Was war das für ein atemberaubendes Ereignis? Als Ihr treuer Kunstratgeber würde ich Ihnen an dieser Stelle vorschlagen, sich ein Souvenir von dieser Verkaufsveranstaltung zu sichern. Doch leider ist sie bereits zu Ende gegangen. Dafür gibt Boniface Masurio unsere Leser jedoch die Möglichkeit, seine Werke bei sich zu Hause bewundern zu können und zu kaufen. Der Maler lebt in der Hermes Ave zwischen der Scarlet Street und der Olive Street in der Altstadt. Ja, perfekt. Perfekto. Ja, das habt ihr gut gemacht. Gefunden.
Excuse me, young man. Where do you think you're going?
Greetings, Mum. I'm looking for the...
I don't care who you're looking for. You shall not pass. No visitors allowed.
I wish to buy a painting from Mr. Boniface Mercurio. Is he at home?
Dearie, tell me, because old age has made me blind. Did someone write Information Bureau on my forehead? Because I'm not here to answer your questions. Entry is for residents only. If you aren't a resident, please leave, or I shall report you to the police.
Ich glaube, wir sehen genauso aus wie der.
Don't pass by.
Okay. Ich glaube, das ist jetzt korrekt. Ich dachte, ich muss ramponiert aussehen. Okay. Da muss ich wohl einfach nur mein Hemd sexy aufknüpfen. Ey, du Süße.
Boniface, sweetie. Is that you? Ah. Old age does terrible things to one's sight. I didn't recognize you at first.
How are you, Mum? I'm ashamed to admit that I've lost my key. Do you have a spare?
For heaven's sake! How many times will you lose that key of yours? Of course I have a spare. You artists all live in your own little world.
Please, accept my thanks.
I would rather accept your rent. You promised to pay me several weeks ago and I'm still waiting.
I will pay you, I promise, very soon.
You'd better do, my dear. Or else I'll just change the lock. And I won't fall for those cow eyes.
Kaual? Warum läuft er so